We are not here to be good. We are not here to learn the magic words to say. We are not here to please creation. We are not here to avoid hell in a later life. We are not here to enjoy ourselves. We are not put here to believe Jesus is God. We are not here to be Christians or Muslims or Jews or Hindus or Buddhists. We are put here like every other life form to serve the larger whole for the joy of it, because we're engineered to find that joyful. We're created to find that joyful. We're put here as helpers of creation. And that is the nature of creation. To build things, to create things, to maintain things in a healthy metabolic state, which is joyful, intrinsically joyful. Jesus tried to return us into the relationship with creation that we were created for. That is in our DNA created nature. But unlike every other life form, we can create cultures that are the opposite of that are gleefully hostile to creation, exploitive cultures instead. And they are joyless, they are lifeless, but we are so drugged by hijacking our internal circuits to produce pleasure instead of joy, and by supplementing it with external things, drugs and alcohol, media for visual stimulation, all pleasure, which is a drug. In small doses, it's adaptive. We were designed, we were created to the only thing we can thrive on is the joy of being helpers of creation. And the proof is all around us that culture's idea, the product of our head and flesh in charge instead of our humanity, the idea of, in these cultures, that we can sustain ourselves with the pleasure of selfishness. Almost everyone knows that Earth is in its final death throes because of the corrupted human species. They might explain it differently, but almost everyone knows that. And it's because we have fallen away. We have been dragged away from our nature as creators, which is the only DNA-given nature that we have. But we can corrupt it and erect in ourselves some satanic thing which is our head and flesh in charge, not our humanity. We are put here to be helpers. Creator with his creation. That's it. That's certainly what Jesus did. I wish he had used those words, but that's what he did, and that's what he tried to tell us. I work because the Father works, he said. The Father never leaves me because I always do what pleases him. But he did not in that say, my purpose is to please Creator. Any more than any good parent has a child for the purpose of pleasing the parent. Though the parent might be pleased with the child when the child is behaving in certain ways, when the child is doing good things. And we are created to be helpers of God's creation. We are not created to be helpers of ourselves. We are not created to be cancer, but we have created cultures that tell us otherwise. And we believe the cultures. We don't believe ourselves. We don't believe ourselves as children. Our culture is very good at convincing us that as children we're wrong. We need to grow out of that. We need to grow up. It is well established in science, as I recall. It's been a few years, but it's been well established with studies of children and other primates that we are here, that we are naturally, by birth. Sorry, original sin, guys. The original sin is culture, not people. We are put here. No, children are naturally joyful when they are helping. They are drawn to be helping. They feel the pain of others. Their empathy is God-given. They feel the pain of empathy. They feel the pain of others through empathy. And the point isn't feeling the pain. They don't wallow in the pain. They respond to it. How can I help? It is what we are born to do, and our culture systematically extinguishes that in us. If you are freely, for the joy of it, helping others in God's creation, how are we going to be enslaved by those who want to use us, not to help others, but to help their selfish interests? That empathy has to be crushed, all but completely crushed. That humanity, goodness, righteousness, brotherhood, justice, kindness, loving, all dictionary aspects of humanity, our God-given capacity, has to be crushed as much as need be, and then subverted, co-opted, enslaved, deceived, so that it is employed for evil, which means selfish purposes. Did Jesus get it wrong? Or did those who told his words 100 years later get it wrong? That it was so much about avoiding punishment and pleasing the Father. Jesus didn't say, if you do unto the least of these, you will be pleasing to me. He said, as you do unto the least of these, you do unto me. It was not some cerebral, hey, I want to be pleased. It was a visceral, I've got family out there. They're suffering. You've got to help them. You've got to help my family.